Welcome back to the fourth quarter at Columbia, Missouri. A few of the faithful have stuck around. We had a 38-minute rain delay. We began the start of the fourth quarter with rain still coming down. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson from 4-0 Field in Columbia. First ever visit by Alabama here as a co-member of the SEC with Missouri. First down. And they'll go from the Wildcat. Here's Kendall Lawrence coming to the right and making a decent run as we get underway with the start of the fourth. Well, I'm still stunned at the difference in this Alabama team after that lightning suspension.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, Nick would have to do a real sell job to get these guys fired up. I mean, it's just, I just say you look at the score and you go, Coach, I just don't believe you. I don't think they're going to come back. And yes, you know, you always want to have great stats and, you know, the turnovers help, but right now, Alabama's looking at the clock and go, let's get out of here without anybody else getting hurt. And if they can, you know, put moderate pressure on the quarterback, the football game's over. The only chance Missouri has is to protect Bergstresser enough that they can start hitting those crossing routes.
Third down, 7.
You have to say you had to be proud if you are a Missouri fan, though. I mean, you know, they continue to fight throughout the game. The offensive line way undermanned, doing a decent job. Men in the huddle.
Tom Ritter.
Substitution infraction on the offense. They had 12 players in the formation for more than 3 seconds. 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
You know, it is very interesting right there. Gary Pinkel said nobody came in. One guy leaves. See, somebody leaves. Okay, I don't see 12 guys in the huddle for that long. So the guy that left is the one that was called as being in that huddle too long. So that was why the call was made. Interesting idea by Nick Saban. He believes there should be an official on the field that looks at nothing but substitutions.
Oh, dribble the snap back. Here's Bergstresser, and that'll be fourth down. Poor center. Again, the regular center, Mitch Morris, is one of the injured players on the offensive line. And a redshirt freshman named Brad McNulty has started and gone the distance and has had a couple of problems.
Yep, and that one, remember, he's got a guy right on his nose that is a load. You're trying to get the block and snap the ball at the same time. The ball's wet when you snap it, wet when you catch it, wet when it hits the grass. You got to keep it real clean in this type of weather.
Trey Barrow on to punt. Cyrus Jones is back.
That's the second rugby kick. The other one was blocked. This one was shanked. Kind of that running kick to the outside.
A 27-yard punt. Never good when you mention a block, a shank, and a punter.
And now it's time for our Geico game recap.
Second play from scrimmage. Eddie Lacy goes right, gets a couple of really terrific blocks, and then moves back to the inside. Little hip wiggle, heads for the corner. 73-yard touchdown. Alabama up 7-0. Try to flea flicker and then give it off to Lacy. He goes up and over the top. It's 14-0 Alabama. T.J. Yeldon came on to make it 21-0. And just before we got the suspension because of a lightning strike, this was Yeldon going out to the right side. Beautiful diving touchdown. The lightning came. The game was suspended for 38 minutes with 8:40 remaining in the first half. And when play resumed after the extra point, it was Murphy, 98 yards. The last man with a chance to get him was the kicker, Cade Foster. He misfired. 98 yards, and Missouri was on the board 28-7. Andrew Baggett had a 41-yard field goal, and that is where we stand.
Vern, if I was in Missouri, I'd be awake for a deep ball. And remember the last time in this situation, they went flea flicker. They haven't gone deep since. Maybe some kind of play action pass and see if they can find a deep one and put this game away and maybe get their quarterback out of there.
McCarron playing with a bruised knee. Amari Cooper, there was I think it was a slip actually by Kip Edwards, number 1. And that allowed Cooper to pick up a couple of more yards. Cooper's second catch.
This one's coming back, though. They're holding on the play, I believe. Yeah, coming out on the play right there. I think it was Quanjo that might have got called on it.
Number 71 offense, 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First down.
Cyrus Quanjo was the tackle to that side. He was the one that had to block that corner in the flat on the quick screen. Kind of extended and grabbed him at the same side play. Watch number 71, the left side of the offensive line, right side of the screen, comes out. He's running, and just throws his left hand out there that time on Kip Edwards and grabs him.
So that results in a first down and 19. Lacy again. Oh, he just about broke the tackle of Matt White.
Yeah, Matt White was holding on for dear life because if he didn't squeeze tightly, that was a touchdown. Again, this play looks crowded on the left side, but you follow Womack and Jones. That would be trustful, wouldn't it?
Oh, boy.
Follow 65 and 75. I would trust those two blocks.
Second down, 9. Let's go back to Lacy again. Look at him work. Time now for Red Lobster to present today's Scholar Athlete. We're going to go to Missouri, where Matt Hoke has posted a 3.97 in middle school education. Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to the University of Missouri's General Scholarship Fund. There's Hoke.
Remember last time in this situation, Missouri blitzed with the 2 linebackers inside. Let's see if they use the same look. 2 linebackers over the center. Yes, it is. There it is, right there. Will they blitz it or will they sugar out of it? They're out of it.
McCarron quickly to Cooper on the left side.
That's very close.
It sure is.
Well, one time when you got those 2 guys stressing inside, you blitz. The next time, you bail out of it. You force that offensive line to protect. They squeeze down. This time you come out of it. And Sheldon Richardson again from his defensive tackle spot shows why every coach I've talked to says he's a player. 4th down, they're going to go for it. Or at least line up for it.
Right. Lacy is the fullback. They'll go from under center with McCarron. It'll be Lacy, right side. Breaks it.
I tell you, Missouri was misaligned, Vern. I mean, I really couldn't even get it out fast enough. Alabama's overloaded on the right side, and Missouri only has 1 player to that side of the line. Look at this, only 1 guy over here. Look at that, there's 4 guys for Alabama to block 1 guy. That was a gimme.
And with that carry, Eddie Lacy has set a career high, 164 yards. Previous high was against North Texas of 161. Lacy 164, 2 touchdowns. They'll give it to him again. And why not? Will Ebner, number 32.
Barrett Jones is limping now a little bit out in the field, too. You know, I mean, these things are all just bumps and bruises. But we saw Barrett, remember a couple years ago, bad memory for Alabama fans. See if he gets stepped on or something here. Can't really see anything, but remember a bad memory for Alabama fans. When he got hurt in that Auburn game, he was going to match up, and Nick Fairley never got the chance to do it.
Working on his master's degree, one of more than a handful of graduates on the Alabama football team. Here's Lacy, stopped by Ebner behind the line of scrimmage. That's a loss of 1. And they continue to grind the clock down. Lacy 176, averaging 11.1. And again, the big play out of Eddie Lacy today was that 73-yard run on the second play from scrimmage. TJ Yeldon, who's also over 100 yards, he's got 127. That's his career high. Now he's only in his true freshman season. Here's Yeldon again. Had that 101-yard effort in the opener against Michigan. And 181 until today in the subsequent 4 games. But he's now carried for 131 yards.
Probably puts him over 300 yards rushing. It does, yes.
And contrast that with Missouri's. Now I see why you said what you said at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
Well, 53 yards in sacks, but let's just put that out of there. That still means they only ran for 53 yards. Or 60 yards, or whatever.
Yeldon is split wide to the right side. Stunt across the middle. That's Amari Cooper.
Nice throw. He got that ball and had to deliver it very quickly that time. Remember, dealing with the wet ball, shotgun snap, catches it on his left hand, adjusts it, throws it just inside that time, and makes the perfect throw. Michael Sam had an angle for the ball, but a perfect throw. And Alabama now in a position to put this game out of reach, if it isn't already.
And McCarron with 21 passes today without an interception, and his streak is in its 9th game. He's now thrown 217 passes with no picks. Yeldon. And look who's leading the way. Big Jesse Williams. Short of the goal line. The Fluker and Mormack seem to think he's scored.
Same play they scored on earlier. And you know, TJ Yeldon kind of gave up on that play. That's the one time he might have followed number 54 and had a little better play on it. But it's never a bad thing near the goal line to go inside and hammer.
Lacy back in. Let's go to the right side. Ooh.
Did he reach it out?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He gets stopped pretty well by the Missouri defense this time, but he reaches the ball out. Right there to break the play. Reach it out right now.
And so Jeremy Shelley on for the extra point. 8:05 to go in the ball game. Lacy with 177 on the ground today. McCarron the holder. Eddie Lacy began the afternoon with a 73-yard run. He's added 103 yards since then, and he scored 3 touchdowns. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Red Lobster, Russell Athletic, Aflac, and by Bud Light. Well, we are back in rain-drenched Columbia, Missouri, and A.J. McCarron. Moments ago, take a look at this. He was the holder, Gary, on the Shelley PAT trial.
Yeah, I can actually relate to this one. This is like an old 13-year vet, like George Blanda getting. That's Kenny Stabler getting up from the Raiders.
That's Gary Danielson in Detroit.
No, that's Kenny Stabler getting up, holding for George Blanda. That's what it looks like when you're in the NFL for about 10, 15 years.
That looks like a scene out of North Dallas 40, didn't it? And it's now time to take a look at our Home Depot tools for success.
Well, when you've got one of these guys to give the ball to, and used to be Ingram, then it was Trent Richardson, and Now it's Eddie Lacy. I mean, sometimes he's sprinting out there. Other times, he's just hammering away. And then the next time, you look for the tool, and he's a mallet. And then he's an axe. And then when you need him, he can be a club. And you just reach in the toolbox, and whenever you need something hard, you just grab it and you hit it with that. And that's Eddie Lacy.
I wish he'd scored one more time.
I didn't have anything. That's all I got. That's all I got.
First down and 10. 8:05 to go in the ball game after that big touchdown from Alabama. Sweep to the right. There's a hand throw. It's Stinson, number 49, made the tackle.
Vern, you don't call the nose tackle a lot in football because he's taking up blockers. But if you watch the tape after the game, this is what Jesse Williams does the whole game. He takes on people, and he does not get knocked down. So that allows everybody else to make tackles. But I watch so much tape on this guy. There's not a lot better anywhere, but he just does not go off his feet.
4 down now for Alabama. Play fake. And the catch is made out of the left side by Marcus Lucas, number 85. Well,
watch that first down play from the one before.
Jesse Williams grew up in Brisbane, Australia. And how did he wind up in Tuscaloosa? Well, first, junior college at Arizona Western in Yuma. And then you go to Tuscaloosa. And you're in your second year, as we mentioned, one of the 4 Australian non-punters.
Here comes the field blitz again.
Okay. Sunseri.
Western Sunseri, here they come. Yep.
Another look at Williams. Ball tipped. Bergstresser now 11 of 26. Second start of the season, as we said. The redshirt freshman out of Lee's Summit, Missouri, who signed on with Missouri in his junior year. That was incomplete.
Just want to show you what you watch tape of when you watch Jesse Williams. Here's the first down play of this drive. Watch him inside, take on people, penetrate. That's him with the tattoos. And look at that. Take, fight, 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 get to the outside, and make the play.
And that's like 60 minutes of stuff from.
That was actually the pass play on the last one right there.
Third down 10. 3 down for Alabama. They'll bring 4. Bergstresser. Intercepted on the tip. Picked off by Clinton Dix.
That makes me laugh every time.
It does me too. His grandmother nicknamed him that. His real name is, his full name is Hashan Clinton Dix.
It was good coverage before that. Let's give part of the interception to the man-to-man coverage to the outside. Not sure if it was Blue or Milner to the outside.
Milner.
It was Milner on the play. Again, the ball skills when the ball's at its apex goes up, and Nix makes the interception, but Milner is the guy that tipped the ball.
Moments ago, this was Eddie Lacy being accompanied into the tunnel and over to the Alabama locker room. No word yet on the injury. Tracy's working on it, and A.J. McCarron through for the day. Blake Sims is the backup quarterback, number 6. 4th game in which he's participated this year, all in mop-up duty. I expect we'll see a lot of this for the next 6.5 minutes, or however long Alabama keeps control of the football. Gary mentioned they're on the road at Tennessee next week.
Right.
That could be a very interesting ball game. Tennessee's at Mississippi State tonight.
Well, Kadoro Patterson was one receiver, Justin Hunter the other receiver, and a quarterback, Tyler Bray. They also got Rivera, tight end. I think it'll be the first time this year that Alabama's going to face a quarterback that's not afraid to throw the ball against them. And by the way, their offensive line has protected Bray well. But these guys will be a handful because they've got about 20 defensive packages they run, and they will be in full force.
Here's Blake Sims. Yeldon comes to the left. And for more on Eddie Lacy, let's go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Well, guys, it's a hand injury for Lacy. He was taken into the locker room, as you mentioned, for further evaluation. They do not expect to see him back, and that's mainly because of the score situation. So that's the update. If we get anything more, I'll pass it along, guys.
Now, I know, Trace, that you were checking the weather forecast very thoroughly yesterday and last night at dinner. Have you remained dry?
No, not at all. I've changed my jacket 3 times, and I look forward to taking off my shoes and socks, which are completely soaked through.
Okay.
You driving Craig's car if that's the case, then, okay with it.
Oh, my goodness. Flag is down.
Offense, 12 players in the huddle for more than 3 seconds. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Actually, Nick was kind of emptying the bench, putting the substitutes in and getting the backups in, and kind of having his first-string guys take a well-deserved bow, but one of the guys didn't come out fast enough.
So 6 penalties for Alabama, and it draws the ire of Nick Saban. Now, brand new offensive line is in there. And this is Kenyan Drake, number 17. A while ago, we mentioned the great depth of this Alabama team, and here's a backfield that has lost 2 for the season. D. Hart injured in the last game, and Jalston Fowler injured 2 games ago, both out for the year. And now they're featuring Kenyan Drake, and he's played quite well in the games of the last couple of games.
The reason Nick was upset there is because he knows now that if to get a first down, he's going to have to throw it. Now, will he? Probably not. Quarterback draw.
Sims. Wow. Kenronte Walker pushed him in the back and got him out of bounds.
Remember a few years ago, it was the Wildcat by Mark Ingram that actually won them a football game. This is basically the Wildcat with Blake Sims. That's what they'll do. If they need a changeup in a football game, that will be the changeup. Bringing Sims in the game with McCarron and run a little Wildcat.
And so a 36-yard run by Sims. Center now is Ryan Kelly, number 70. Handoff Kenyan Drake coming left. Spin move, beauty. Dives for the end zone, did not make it. Ruled out of bounds just short.
We saw Drake against, who did we see them against? Arkansas. He scored a late touchdown. He's very elusive, good spin, takes the hit, continues to turn.
In all the years that you and I have been doing this, I've never gone deeper on the depth chart or the numerical roster that we did for Alabama in that Arkansas game.
Yeah, that's true. That's like when you found Lutzenkirchen on that catch at one time. Remember that?
Yes, I do. First and goal. Kenyan Drake. It'll be second and goal. Michael Sams with the tackle. 3:10 remaining in this.
Well, Missouri, let's talk about them. Gary Pinko a little bit. Remember, they get the bye week. Try to get healthy, get some offensive linemen back. Last year, they won their last 4 games. So if they finish strong again, you know, they've got opportunity. The key game for them will be they have to play at Florida.
Now, Philip Ely is in at quarterback. Number 12, he replaces Blake Sims. And it's second down and goal. Drake gets a block, bounces to the outside and goes in untouched. Harrison Jones provided the block.
This is just off tackle play 101 from the goal line. Harrison Jones, as Vern told you, got the key block, and Drake bounces outside for a walk-in. Big play, though, Blake Sims, that
Yes.
long quarterback draw keeper.
That's the 36 yards. Shelley, see who the holder is. McCarron's on the bench. His son, Sari. And nice hand from Nick Saban.
And you get that when you go with your second team and run another one in the end zone.
To be young and rainproof. They're sticking with it. Time now for the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. Let's go back to the opening series of the game and our good friend Eli Gold of the Alabama Radio Network.
And here's the handoff, big hole near side, open for Eddie Lacy. He's going to go down the near sideline. He's to the 40, cuts inside of a defender at the 30, goes across the field. He's to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. How about that? 44 seconds worth of play, and Alabama's on top on a 72-yard run.
Eli's seen a few pretty good performances by the Crimson Tide.
They got it rolling. Again, next week is a game that will be fun to watch.
Here's Kate Foster's kickoff. And that'll go through the end zone and come back out to the 25-yard line.
No return by Mark.
Well, remember back in the first half, somewhere in the first half, we asked the CBS poll, Facebook poll, your favorite mascot in the
Close.
SEC. How about that? Whoa, my goodness. Truman, you finished third for crying out loud. But you're staying with it. Mike the Tiger down at LSU's second. And, of course, Truman after President Harry S. Truman from nearby Independence, Missouri. Oh, look at this.
See you in basketball.
Yeah. I like Mizzou's chances.
Right. Oh, that might be a penalty right there.
Wow.
More than might.
Oh, my heavens. Michael Fanning, LaMichael Fanning is going to get flagged for this play.
Yeah, and, you know, opportunity to play. Oh, man.
Personal foul.
Very dangerous.
Unnecessary roughness, number 44.
Absolutely.
That
15-yard penalty, first
that
down.
will be that could be a suspension.
I think so, and I
Yes.
think it should be a suspension.
Yeah, I mean, yes, an opportunity to play by a young player, but that will be looked at by the commissioner. And remember, the commissioner makes those final decisions. A very, very dangerous play.
Oh, my gracious.
Thank God that nothing bad happened.
LaMichael Fanning, number 44. And a hand where he's obviously just fine because he's got the ball and going left. Stay tuned for the Jeep postgame show on CBS Sports. Oh no, Gary, Timmy Brando's getting more action than you and I are this game. Second down and 8. Oh, what a dangerous play that was. Wow.
Well,
.42-10, under 2 to go. Hansborough. Just occurs to me, you know whose name we've not mentioned once today? Supposedly the #1 recruit in all of high school football last year, Dorial Green Beckham.
I don't think he's been on the field.
Nope.
He was suspended last week and hasn't earned his way back on the field. And no one's even rushed as a team for 100 yards this season against this Alabama team.
Third and 3. Nick Saban on the sidelines. Fewest rush yards allowed under Saban. Michigan State -48. Kent State -9. And Clemson in 08-0.
one of the reasons that Nick gets those type of, obviously, good football team and everything, but he plays a slower paced game. Give you an example, the average number of plays against Alabama this year has been 58. So far, Missouri has run 56 in this football game. Alabama only runs 63 plays a game. Take a guess at Oregon. How many they run? 80 plays a game.
80, wow.
So that's about a third less plays than what's happening over there, and 25% to a third less plays, and that's a slow down style that Nick plays and gets his team to play at this pace, and it's worked and worked well for him.
Injured players Waters for Missouri. Take a look at the very end of it. Waters with the catch, the takedown.
It looked innocent, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Kind of fell perhaps on his tailbone. I mean, there was nothing bad on that play. Good tackle, kind of threw the receiver out of bounds.
And as we give you a wider view of the SEC and entering into the really strenuous part of the season, South Carolina at LSU tonight. South Carolina on October 20th is at Florida, LSU at A&M, or Alabama at Tennessee. And then on the final weekend, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, Mississippi State at Alabama.
Well, and one of the interesting things about Alabama's schedule this year is last year, out of the 3 big teams in the East, and it wasn't very strong last year, but they only faced Florida, did not play Georgia and South Carolina. This year, Florida does not play, Alabama does not play Florida, Georgia, or South Carolina until the SEC championship, if they get there.
Yes. Well, they continue to work on Eric Waters. 4th down and 3. Hard to tell. Yeah. He's still face down.
We always love to get these games over with when this part of the game did his neck extend back. I don't know, boy.
Well, we'll step aside. The injured player, Eric Waters. Huh? Tonight on CBS begins with NCIS Los Angeles and Hawaii 5-0, followed by a new edition of 48 Hours tonight, only CBS. They continue to work on the injured Missouri Tiger.
Stretcher is coming out. Ugh. Just shows you how fast. Looked so innocent, didn't it?
And then just 4 or 5 plays prior to that.
Yes, looked like the most dangerous thing you'd ever seen, right?
Absolutely. When LaMichael Fanning took on Randy Hansbrough.
It was definitely his back of his head hit the turf.
Yeah. Waters, a junior from Mansfield, Texas, and
Missouri taking a knee, and I'm sure Alabama will take a knee and run this game out.
Yeah. And this play occurred with 51 seconds remaining. Get the stretcher underneath. Here they go. They do manage to get him over on his back. And so Alabama will take a knee on 1st and 10.
That'll be it.
And our thoughts with Eric Waters. Nick Saban, Gary Pinkel, the 2 Kent State teammates from the MAC championship team of 1972. A brief handshake at midfield, but most folks' attention focused on this scene. Bergstresser finishes 12 of 29. Missouri team gathered around their fallen comrade. The final score 42-10. We'll let you know what we know when we come back and wrap it up after this.